wearing the same clothes as yesterday. Whatever. We're rolling through this, right? One note before we get too far into it. Coach Fury and I were having a blast streaming together. I had so much fun talking to him throughout the day, but on my side, I messed up his audio somehow. I don't know how that worked out, but we're gonna troubleshoot it throughout the week because Coach Fury and I are not done bringing you all content. We're gonna be bringing you much more from CBGM in the future. Promise you that. But for now, we didn't really have time to troubleshoot it tonight, so I thought that I would just run this by you guys solo just for this bit of it. But huge shout out to Coach Fury. Thanks. Had a great stream, and we're going to do it again real soon. So, jumping straight into commitments. This is the reveal for September 25th. And you guys can see here on the screen, I've got Nate Hines up. He was a commit from last time. I don't have a great way to say, like, this guy committed last stream or this guy committed this stream or whatever. So I'm going to go through this and I'm going to react to it. I'll see if I can get Twitch chat up. I'm not going to be able to because I'm not going to have a login. I can't get chat up on a device right now. So apologies. You know, it's a Sunday night stream. It is what it is. I'm going to roll through this without chat. I hope you guys have a blast in chat. Reach out to me on Discord. But all this is going to be is just reaction. So Nate Hines to Georgia Tech. That's a commitment that we got last night. He's number 50 in the nation. He had a decent indie camp, top 5 at Memphis. This is a huge prospect, huge get for Georgia Tech. A guy that I was very, very much interested in at Louisville. I ultimately backed off of him and made a different offer, but I would have loved to have Nate Hines on my campus. I think that Georgia Tech is going to love having Nate Hines. He's going to be a really, really solid player for Georgia Tech. So we're just going to go backwards from here. And then, guys, if you've got a specific recruit you want me to check on stream, hit me on Discord right now with a private message. What's the point of trash talking if cards can't see it? Agalia's already got it figured out. He's already private messaging me his shit talk. If you want to talk trash, if you want me to look at a specific player, whatever it is that you want to do, shoot me a direct message on Discord. I've got that up on my device. I can't see Twitch because the password thing isn't going to work out. So that's all we got. Coolest Jedi's already hit me. He wants to see JP Benton. What is JP Benton in the top 50 or not? If he's in the top 50, we're going to get there anyway. If he's not, we'll check it after we get through the top 50. So we're going to roll through top 50, and then we're going to check any special requests. But if Benton is in that top 50, we'll hit him. If he's not, I'll get it after I get through the top 50. So let's get moving. Nate Hines, we already knew. Bart Tubbs, we already knew, but this is another great one. I don't want to stop for too long and rehash things from last night's stream, but Bart Tubbs is a great player. Xavier's got a really good recruiting class that they're lining up. Coach Fury and I touched on that, but Bart Tubbs to Xavier, that's a good pull for them. Jonathan Levitt to Texas A&M. I believe that this was another one who was a pretty good camper. Pretty sure he committed already. So this shouldn't be anything new, but he's a high-level recruit as best I can remember. Matt Bullock to IU. Matt Bullock to IU, I believe, is a new one. I think that this is a player that a handful of people wanted me to check out a day or two ago. I don't know that he committed last night. I think this may be a new commitment. But either way, whether he's new or whether this has already happened, Matt Bullock is headed to IU, and IU, I was telling people earlier, I really hope that all of these prestigious blue blood programs, whatever, build themselves back up. I want to see UCLA competitive. I want to see IU competitive. I love the fact that UNC went out and dominated the recruiting trail. So all that's really cool. I'd love to see IU come back, and Matt Bullock is going to be a great, great start for them. So Jerry Tucker to Dayton. Gonna be honest, I don't know. Let's check Discord here. Armand Lovett, 64 center. All right, Kid Coffee's got a request in chat. We're going to get to Armand Lovett eventually. I don't know anything about Jerry Tucker. I don't have any information on him. He wasn't on my radar. I don't know if he's a new commitment or not, so I'm just going to keep rolling on through. Rashawn Collins, sort of the same thing here. Here's a USC commitment. He was on UCLA. He was on Utah, BYU, Utah State. But I don't have any information on him, so I don't know how good he is. But Rashawn Collins to USC. Terrence Cook to Stanford. Here's a guy, I mean, you want to talk about a guy that liked academics. Look at this dude's top 10. Look at his top 3. Stanford, Vandy, Georgia Tech. I'm guessing this was an academics guy. I mean, you don't have to be an expert to figure this one out, right? But Terrence Cook headed to Stanford. Terry Timmons still undecided. Still looking at Arizona, Oregon, San Diego State, UCLA, a handful of schools here. Wisconsin still in the mix for Terry Timmons. Still uncommitted. Dwayne Ward headed to Minnesota. So Minnesota's grabbed themselves a top 50 prospect. This is the kind of guy that you've got to think like Richard Pitino would have loved to have some of these guys at Minnesota, right? I mean, he was at Minnesota for 4 or 5 years. I got nothing in my heart but good things for the Patinos. Would have really liked to see Richard do well. He got fired from Minnesota. If he had more guys like Dwayne Ward, it wouldn't have worked out that way. But Dwayne Ward is going to be a Gopher. He's headed to Minnesota. They beat out Purdue. They beat out Georgia Tech. A handful of other schools here. Dwayne Ward to the Gophers. Josh McCasland. This was definitely a pick from last night, and he broke my heart, and I'm not ready to talk about it yet. Not ready to talk about it yet. Let's go. let's go get somebody else. Tear. Brown Wheeler. So, now, Brown Wheeler, I actually just sent out an offer on Brown Wheeler to try to get over my heartbreak from Josh McCasland. So, Brown Wheeler was, I think it was pretty good. Yeah, top 25 at Indy. He was actually the MVP at Vegas. So, this has got to be one of the best uncommitted prospects left in the country. I tried to jump in on him. I visited him. I'll visit him again. You can see the offer's outstanding. Right now, I'm 5th on his list. There's a handful of other schools ahead of me, and we'll see how it goes. But right now, Brown Wheeler's still uncommitted, and wherever he lands, he's going to bring a lot of talent with him. Evan Evans. Evanescence? Evan Evans. Great name. No commitment yet. Nothing to talk about here. He didn't stand out at Indy. He was decent at Memphis, so that means probably like top 50, like whatever. Evan Evans, okay. Nobody cares. You're not a player that nobody cares about who's uncommitted is not newsworthy. Henry McMillan, I've got no information on him. He's a 4-star guy out of Phoenix, Arizona. Warm on Baylor, Notre Dame, Nova, Oregon, and UCLA. And I'll tell you what, guys. I know I don't have chat up, so this isn't the most interactive stream ever, right? But I do have the zip, and I did see it, and there's some good ones. There's some good ones to come. Don't tune out yet. Some of the top players in the country committed. Be ready for it. But all that being said, Henry McMillan is not one of them. We're going to speed right on past this. Jared Robinson to Pitt. Now, Coach Fury and I actually talked about this. Jared Robinson, he's top 50. He's not top 10 or anything, but look at the assists per game. Absolutely crazy. Really good prospect. He committed last night. This isn't news to anybody. Moving on. Matt Fox to Notre Dame. And I'm really, really certain that this is a new one. Agelia, I know, is already hitting me in private chat, so maybe he can shoot me a message and let me know the story on Matt Fox, because obviously he was not on my list. I don't have any recruit notes, so if this guy was top 10, top 25 at a camp, whatever, I don't know it. But I know that Notre Dame beat out Kansas, Oklahoma State, and Oklahoma. So there was definitely a chase after Matt Fox, shooting guard out of Wagner, Oklahoma. But he ultimately went to Notre Dame. Joey Lucas, uncommitted. Pitt, Rhode Island. Baylor, Nova, West Virginia, still hot on Joey Lucas, but he hasn't committed. Agelia is shooting me a message right now. I can see him typing. So we're going to see if we can get a little bit more information here on Matt Fox before we get too far. No, he types slow. I'm going on. Terrence Dearborn, point guard, headed to Alabama, 5'11", Hemingway, South Carolina. Let's see. He was on my list. Didn't stand out at Indy. Decent at Memphis, so he should be all right. I mean, he'll be all right. He's not going to be a superstar or nothing like that, but he'll be all right. Agelia says he just offered Fox, hoping he can be a 4-year contributor. All right, so even Agelia isn't excited about Matt Fox. That completely makes me feel good about not being excited about him. We move on to Colt Carlisle, who's a guy. I talked about Nate Hines and how excited I was about him right off the bat at the small forward position. I actually had an offer out to Hines, pulled it to offer Colt Carlisle, and he committed last night. So this is not new. Moving on to Kevin Thomas, Zion Lutheran High School in Deerfield Beach, Florida, uncommitted. Clemson, Tennessee, Marquette, West Virginia, all hot on the trail. But Kevin Thomas is uncommitted, so we're going to move on. Marcus Hughes, the shooting guard from Athens, Michigan, has committed to the Spartans, and I am not sure whether or not this is new or not. But Michigan State has landed themselves a shooting guard in the top 50. Top 50s. Let's see here. Didn't stand out at Indy. I got a kid over here on the steps thinking he's sneaking on me. Didn't stand out at Indy. Decent, not spectacular at Chicago. So he'll be all right. Good 4-year player. Not an impact guy. What's up, bub? Sure thing. All right. So Marcus Hughes, not going to be an immediate guy, but, 3, maybe 4 years, he'll be real good. And he'll be a 4-year player. So if he sticks around, he'll eventually be solid for Michigan State. That's a program building kind of guy. That's all we got to say about that. Quinn Howard, he committed to Notre Dame last stream, so we don't need to dwell on that. This is another guy that I had shot an offer to. He's a pretty good player, and I pulled it to send it to McCasland, and we're still not talking about McCasland, so let's leave that at that. But ultimately, I pulled my offer for Quinn. Notre Dame landed him. Heck of a point guard. Probably going to be a really good, solid 4-year player for Notre Dame. Kelvin Stewart went to Creighton last stream. Really, really solid player. Top 25 at Indy. MVP at Houston. Nothing else to say about it. He's an absolute baller. He's going to be a Creighton Blue Jay. Chris is real happy about that one. Myron Chapman to Michigan State. The first player of the stream that I promise you is a new commitment tonight. I looked at this guy. In my opinion, he was, if not the top prospect, he was at least one of the top 5 or 10 prospects that was still uncommitted. He was the MVP at the Big Apple Showcase regionally. I believe he was also top 25 at... No. He wasn't at Indy. He went to East Coast Jam, and he was a top 5 prospect at East Coast Jam. So, you are probably talking about one of the 10 or 20 most talented players in the country. I was so close to changing my entire recruiting strategy to go after this guy. Ultimately, I went in a different direction, but he's going to Michigan State, and so this is 100% going to heal some of those wounds. I know there's a lot of people licking their wounds after losing Dan McCray. after losing Kurt Linney, after losing whoever else UNC stole from you. UNC stole everybody's everything last night. It happens. Myron Chapman is going to make things a lot better in East Lansing going forward. So, huge get for the Spartans. Immediate impact player, in my opinion. Nice work there. And I believe that's Mad Eye. So, I did not intend to do that. Let's see here. Let me go ahead and spoil everything for you. I don't even know if we're on the right list now. I got so excited about Myron Chapman, I couldn't help it. Guys. I feel so bad. Oh, I'm on the wrong list. McCaslin, Wheeler, Dearborn, Carlisle, Marcus Hughes. There we go. Vegas Bruce still undeclared. He doesn't have a whole lot of interest in anybody. I don't know if this is a player or not. If anybody has any information on Vegas Bruce and wants to shoot it out to me, feel free. But I got nothing on him. I know he's got the coolest name in the entire league. Outside of that, I don't know. So Mike Gray headed to the Ville, baby. But that was last night. So he was a top 10 player at Indy. He was the MVP at Memphis Hoops. So good stuff coming from Mike Gray. He's going to be solid. But moving on, Junior Jackson, undeclared. Didn't stand out at Indy. Decent at the Big Apple. Baylor, West Virginia, Maryland, in on him. Undeclared. No new information. Cool's Jedi says Vegas Bruce hates everyone. And I actually think he's accurate on that. But Tyron Perkins, Marquette power forward. I've got no information on Perkins. He's a 5-star player, so we are definitely moving into that 5-star level here. I don't have information on Perkins, but I do think he declared last night. So I'm going to move on. Danya Baines. Oh, man. The most overrated player in the nation. 2 or 3 days ago, I got on stream and talked poorly of Danya Baines and made fun of Justin for having an offer outstanding to him. Coach Fury and I reviewed Danya Baines again about 30 minutes ago, and we both agreed he's absolute hot trash. But he has committed to Duke, so if Justin has the recruit a 5-star player goal, he has succeeded. Anything else with regard to this recruit's a failure. I don't know what else to say about it. He's not going to be good. If you can keep him around for 4 years, he may turn into something, but he's probably a 2-year player, maybe 3. And I don't think he'll be impactful. So, but he's a Dookie. Bill Carrawell out of Anaheim, California, still uncommitted. I believe in talking with Coach Fury earlier, I think this is a pretty highly talented player through the camps, but I don't have any info on him. So he's uncommitted. The race continues. That's all there's to say about that one. Hashim Pruitt to UC. Did this happen last night? Or is this new? I feel like this is new. I feel like Hashim Pruitt is new. And this guy was very, very highly thought of. Top 25 at Indy, top 5 at Chicago. There were a lot of schools in on him. I was interested in him, as was every other school across the country. All right, Chris says he went nuts for Bearcats last night. So Pruitt must have committed last night, and I just am not recalling it. So we're going to move on. Here we go. Greg Nielsen to Arizona, another very hotly contested recruit. I think half of the country had offered Greg Nielsen. I think, Agalia, did you offer Greg Nielsen? Or had you offered him at one point? I see you in the top 10. I think there was a handful of people after Greg Nielsen, but He's an Arizona Wildcat. My favorite kind of Wildcat. One that's not in Kentucky. He's an Arizona Wildcat. Greg Nielsen. So, John Thurman to Florida State. That was definitely a last night commitment. John Thurman's going to be a good point guard. If they can keep him around for a year or two, he'll be better. But he very may well be a one and done. He could be a one and done player. We'll see what goes on there with John Thurman. Mike Bender, again, not ready to talk about it. It happened last night. I'm still recovering. Anton Gordon to Creighton, we knew that. Jason Humphreys still undeclared. Edmund Parquet to Pitt, we already knew that one. Parquet was one of these guys. Basically, the entire East Coast had offers out to this guy, and he went to Pitt. But, again, last night, so we're not really revealing anything. Adrian Griffin to Florida. He also snubbed his nose at me. Whatever. He can go be a Gator. I don't care. Colin Whiting to Tennessee. I think we already knew that one as well. Talented small forward. Headed to Tennessee basketball for reasons unknown. Ray Stevens to Virginia. We knew that. Vic Judd to West Virginia. I believe this is a new one, guys. And this is the AI striking back, right? So I called in my prediction stream the other night that the AI was going to mostly strike out, but they were gonna hit a few players here and there. Nothing to worry anybody. And this is a perfect example of that. Vic Judd, he's not hot on anybody else. I went through the offer sheets 100 times. I didn't see this guy on anybody else's list. So he's a highly rated recruit. He's going to West Virginia, and there's nothing else to it. It's not that interesting. Donald Jarrett to Texas. We knew that. Jaron Jennings to Wisconsin. This is definitely a huge new commitment. Jaron Jennings going to be a Badger. Half the country was in on Jennings. I know Ohio State was in on him. Notre Dame was at one time or another. Everybody was in on this guy. Jaron Jennings, huge recruit. Top 10 in the nation. One of the best point guards. Let's see, what is he? He's ranked number 3 in the nation. Number 3 in the nation. Jaron Jennings headed to Wisconsin. And this makes me feel warm in my heart for Wisconsin because they kind of got hosed last night. So it's good to see it coming back around and picking up a little bit for Wisconsin. They're pulling in some of that elite talent. Good for the Badgers. Good for the Big Ten. We made fun of them all day long in chat if y'all followed along. But Jaron Jennings is going to be a Badger. Bernie Newton to Baylor. We knew that one. Bernie Newton's going to be a heck of a player. I think this is going to be one of the candidates for the Norton. But Bernie Newton to Baylor, we already knew. Dion Clark to West Virginia. I'm not certain if this is new or not. I don't remember it. And the reason that I don't remember it is he was nowhere on my list. I didn't see him on a lot of offer sheets. And I just don't care about him. So, again, the AI strikes on a player that... So what? I don't know what else to say about it. Dion Clark headed to West Virginia. I'll tell you what, Chris is hyped. Chris loves the logo. The Bob Huggins logo. And he's all over Bobby Huggins. And Huggins is the man. I mean, there's no denying it. Huggins is the man. So, Bobby Huggins bringing in a couple of top recruits here early. And Chris is the only human going nuts over it. So, the AI strikes, but it makes Chris happy. Nick Burris, Notre Dame. This is why you all logged onto the stream to see where the top players went. And this is where he's going. And I'm going to have to go back and check the tape here. I'm pretty sure I called this one about an hour ago. Nick Burris headed to Notre Dame, Fighting Irish. Agelia lands just a crushing body blow to the recruiting world and snags what's probably the second or third best point guard in the country. Really good player here. Probably going to be a one and done. But it's going to be a really, really good one. Nick Burris, verbally committed to Notre Dame. Heck of a pull there. Continuing my prediction of Notre Dame being a top 10 class when it's all said and done. I think this is probably the top commitment of the night. Him and Jaron Jennings. I'll put them 1A and 1B. For the rest of this, Nick Tui to Oklahoma, we knew. Kurt Linney, North Carolina, we knew. Jacobson, McCray, Khalid Jones. Guys, we know everything in the top 50 at this point. Let me get to my direct messages because I know that we had at least one or two other requests. Coolest Jedi wants JP Benton. I don't know if there's a search feature, so you might have to tell me, like, what region is JP Benton? Where is he at? Because I do not know. I can tell you if we bounce over to my call and watch list. Not much changed. We didn't do so hot. We didn't get any new commitments. Brian Wheeler we offered went hot. And, we're kind of in the mix, so that's a maybe. Still waiting on you, Coolest Jedi. What position is JP Benton? Where is it? What region? Etc. So I offered Wheeler. Nothing doing there. I also offered somebody else. Where is he? Oh, I'm in the national region. Moving to all regions as I continue to wait. Look for him in the Illinois recruit class. There we go. All right, so first of all, Coolest Jedi wants us to check out the Illinois recruit class. He's a power forward. Let's check this out. First of all, Greg Ford, there's my other offer. Still cool. Hasn't committed. So be it. Douglas Hedrick. Oh my, what is this? Douglas Hedrick went to Belmont. He's a relatively low-rated commit. But I'm pretty sure he was like top 5 at Georgia. And he was very, very much on my list. So, it's not often that you see commitment lists look like this. But here's Louisville and here's Belmont beating them out. Douglas Hedrick to Belmont. Huge land for Belmont. All right. Bouncing over to check out Illinois. JP Benton signed with you, buddy. Good news for the Jedi. Good news for the Jedi. Let's check out JP Benton here. 6'7", power forward, 4-star guy. Didn't really stand out at Memphis, so say good things, right? He qualified. He's really interested in academics, and he's going to be at Illinois next year. So, when you're at some of these schools with the really difficult GPAs and whatnot, it's pretty cool to be able to land somebody. Pretty cool to be able to land somebody that qualifies, etc. So, good land for Illinois. Probably not somebody that would have popped up on my radar, but You know, when you've got such strict rules on GPA and that sort of thing, you take what you can get, right? And JP Benton's going to qualify. So good on Illinois there. They got their guy. All right, see some questions about other conferences and that sort of thing. But guys, I think that pretty much wraps it up. I don't think there's too much more crazy stuff going on in this particular save. So I'm going to wrap it here. I'm going to save it, do that thing. Hopefully the file gets pushed real soon. I hope you've already seen everything you need to see out of this. But if there's something else you need to see, I'm sure Chris will get it out to you shortly. Anyway, thanks guys for stopping by. Thanks for jumping in. Thanks for hitting me on Discord since my chat is down tonight. I had a blast. I mean, it was fun going through here, seeing it. I'm pumped. I'm really, really, really excited for a handful of these guys. Burris to Notre Dame is huge. Jennings to Wisconsin is huge. So those schools have got to be feeling great about themselves right about now. But everybody's still got work to do. Everybody except for UNC has been turned down, lost out on prospects, missing guys, still needs to fill out their roster. So thanks for stopping by, but go back to work. Everybody's got work to do. Go get it done. Bring those players in. See what you got. Until next time, guys, thanks so much. I'm out of here.